Hi, good morning, everyone. Welcome to Winning Mondays with KW Malaysia. I'm Mariah. I'm the training coordinator here. And we're working on season 4 right now with tactics to power through a global shift market based on the awesome Shift book. So if you don't have this book, this is a great book to get. It helps agents around the world. It's very famous. So before we have a great topic today on price right, sell fast, and we have some great guests for you. But before that, I just want to share with you a couple of things. All right. So hopefully you've heard about Asia Summit, which is going to be amazing. This is going to be the event of the year. So I don't think we can talk about this enough, how amazing this event is. So as you can see, there is a price for it, but you all can come for free through our awesome link. So we have a free promo code. So hopefully you've already seen this. So of course, we expect all of our agents to come, and we also expect 1,500 agents. So it's definitely beyond us. We're inviting the entire industry to show up. And just for you understand how big of an event this is, it's kind of global. We are having KW Japan, Thailand, Cambodia, Vietnam, Mongolia, Philippines, they're all coming, and definitely, all of Malaysia is going to be there. So you want to be there. You don't want to miss out on this event. So we're going to talk about this again at the end of the session, but just want to bring this to your attention so you don't miss out. Yeah. Okay. So let's just, as we get ready for today's session, just a quick review what we've been through. We've been through all these other topics. These are the different shift tactics in the book. Yeah, so about your mindset, about staging strategies, expense management, lead gen, lead capture and conversion, internet lead capture. That's what we did last week. And this week we are doing seller pricing strategies. All right. So, okay, I would like to first welcome our guests. I have here Jonathan Lee and Ganesh Mahendran. Come on, you're the next contestant on season 4.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Mariah. Good morning, Ganesh.
Hi, good morning. Great. I'm glad to have you guys. Okay, I thought I'll bring you guys in first. I'm going to run a poll as usual. So this poll is for everyone on the call, so we can really see where you're at and we can get the conversation started. So this is just, I'm going to read this out. So the first question is, oh, here we go. I launched the poll. So the first question on the poll is, do you find there are a lot of overpriced properties in the market now? Yes or no? So for those of you who are on Facebook and cannot click the poll and all that, please just answer if you find, for number 1, yes or no, do you find there are a lot of overpriced properties in the market now? And number 2, do you find it challenging to convince sellers to lower their asking price? Yes or no? All right, so we'd love to hear everyone's opinion on this. Easy questions. I like that everyone's answering. This is great. Yeah. So whether or not everyone is seeing the same thing, whether there's a lot of overpriced properties and whether it's difficult to convince sellers to lower their the prices. All right, I'll just give this another 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, awesome. We got 80% of the people responded. All right, let's see our answers. Okay, so wow, overwhelmingly yes. So basically almost everyone, 97% of you said that you find there's a lot of overpriced properties, and 92% say you find it very challenging to convince sellers to lower their asking price. Okay, all right, John and Ganesh, what do you think of this? What do you think of these results? Is this surprising to you?
I'm not surprised because when I do a comparison with the properties which I'm going to be selling, most of the properties are overpriced.
Right.
Surprised, yeah.
Right. I do share the same sentiment with Ganesh, but it's very interesting to see that most agents, the number one problem in this market now, in an overpriced market, yet there's a lot of challenges in convincing sellers to lower their asking price. We would have assumed, logically, when everything is overpriced, right, someone would then come to their senses and say, I want to adjust. So the challenge I always see when I look at this thing is, whose responsibility is it? Is it the owner's responsibility? Is it the agent's responsibility? Is it the buyer's responsibility? I think that's the question we need to answer today. Cool. Because I find that this is a very big issue and I think Ganesh will agree with me that most agents are finding this very challenging, which means there are not many agents that understand how to do this very well. Which means there's a huge opportunity to learn and do it very well. That's just my observation.
Right. Great. Okay. I'm realizing I got so excited to get started that I did not even like introduce you guys very well. So I think most of you all know Jonathan Lee is our CEO in KW, and he's been an agent for what, 20 something years, is it?
No, I'm not that old. I'm not that old. I'm in real estate 18 years. I stopped transacting probably 7, 8, 9 years ago.
Okay, cool. Ganesh, do you want to just share a little bit about your background?
Okay, I've been in this industry for 30 years. I started in 1992.
Wow.
And I started, luckily for me, I started at Reedfield. So I started correctly, because the culture then was, even though it's the training wasn't as formalized as it is now, but the culture was good. It was a culture of sharing. And I was with them for 2 years until I got my own license, and then I formed my own company in Taman Tun, where I was practicing for about 14 years, and then 12 years ago I decided to come back.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
ever since.
A big company. That's really cool. What a great story. You
Yeah.
started there and now you're back here.
I've done it all.
Awesome.
Made all the mistakes.
Yeah, this is awesome. We want to hear about all the mistakes so we can learn too. No. But this is great. So happy that you're here. Okay, so let's just to start off the conversation. How do you personally think about pricing properties? What do you think is a good approach to pricing properties?
I go first.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Okay. To me, the components of a good listing are three things. For me, the exclusive is very important, the 3%. And now recently for the last few years, pricing, very, very important, because right now, if I don't get the price right from the beginning itself, I will not take the listing. I actually mean that, because I've got limited energies. So getting the price right, and I do not like chasing the market. So it's very important I have that right. And if you look at the market, most of the properties are overpriced. They are above the market. And you're not going to get any response except for people who are just shopping around. No? And then, of course, the second category is the people who actually are at the current market, but the market is sliding. So it's very difficult. Even if you price it at the market level, it's very difficult to, because the prices are sliding. So for me, I will price it ahead of the market, because I know we check, we use data to check on the market trends, and we will advise the clients on that. So for me, the most important thing is I need to understand the motivation of the seller, whether he wants a quick sale or he is willing to wait. So once I determine that, then I will decide on the pricing strategy.
Great. That's great. So to get it right, find out their motivation, get the price right from the beginning, and you don't want to be chasing. That's great. How about you, John? What's your thoughts on this?
I think an agent today in the market needs to see there's a problem. And I think as an agent, when we can solve problems, we bring value to the marketplace. And I think most agents need to think about that first before they go into the business and say, I want to transact a property right now. Most of them go in to try to transact something. But I think we need to start the foundation right by saying, how can I add value into this marketplace? And you hear about Ganesh saying, I'm trying to understand what the motivation and the purpose behind the sellers, right? How many agents today in the market just ask those questions? Mr. Seller, why are you selling today? I can almost tell you at the top of my head, in an educated guess, 90% of agents don't ask those questions, right? because the mindset is not fixed in the right foundation. Is how do I create value? In order for you to create value, you must first understand what the flow need, and you must have the value to offer back. You need to know the market. And then second thing is you need to know the market very well. You need to understand the economic impact in the market in that location, right? And I don't think real estate market is a complex market. Cryptocurrency is a complex market.
Okay.
Right? But real estate is not complex. It's how many people are willing to buy, how many people are willing to sell, why they're buying, why they're selling. Normally it's schools, it's location, it's work, it's transportation, whatever it is, right? It's not complex. But sometimes we think it's complex and we try to share market is complex, cryptocurrency is complex, but I think real estate is very straightforward. It's basically based on the needs and wants of that person wanting to acquire the asset or to dispose the asset. So it's very straightforward. So I think agents don't understand how to become the economies of choice in that location. The second part. And the third thing is, how do I communicate to the seller and buyer effectively? How do I do that? How do I communicate effectively that they understand me and they understand my value proposition?
Right.
So I think these are three key things that I think the foundation of what we should start off.
Right, right. So bringing that value, actually understanding the seller, where they're at, and then like being able to communicate it well with them, everything. So how does, this, I mean, I was just saying in general, but how does this change during a shift? Does this issue of how to approach pricing, does it change during a shift? Is it the same? What happens during a shift with pricing?
Basically, when the shift happens, I think buyers become very fearful, very cautious. Even when opportunities come their way, they think the market will fall. They expect the market to be falling. So it's very difficult for a seller to sell his property in this climate. No? What we need to do is when sellers who fail to recognize this shift will quickly be overpriced. So we need to address this. Actually, there are many people who are genuinely wanting to sell and buy. It's very, very obvious, because I have a lot of people who come and ask me whether there are good buys. I'm very careful with these kind of people. Is there a good buy? So I do not normally, I won't take them seriously, but I'll keep that in mind. No? And when there's an opportunity, there are opportunities, and I'm one of the beneficiaries over the years. When the market shifted, I went and bought it. I bought properties. No? So it's very important for the agent to empower the seller by pricing it right. It's very, very important, especially during this shift market.
Right, right. I like that. Empower the seller by pricing it right. This is the value you're bringing to the seller, right? To help them. Great. John, you want to add something?
Yeah, I think in the shift market, anxiety is the number one emotion. Fear and anxiety is the number one emotion. I know it's a good deal, but is it the right timing?
Yeah.
Is it okay? Will it go down anymore? Would I lose anymore? And I think somehow, as Asians, right, we are all afraid of losing one. Right? The Chinese people say kiasu, right? Always very afraid of losing, right? What if I buy today, then 2 weeks later it dropped another 5,000, then I just rugi 5,000. We always have this kind of thinking, right? So it's important in this season when someone is going through anxiety and fear, then the conversation and the journey has to be very different. It has to be something that you are able to connect and journey with this person. Assurance is important. Evidence is important, right? Evidence over emotion. Help them see evidence, right? And give them perspective. I think when a person is in anxiety, fear of the unknown, right? I'm afraid that I may lose. That's true. That fear is very valid. But give them the perspective. What if you win? How does that look like? So perspective is very important in this market. And perspective is a factual thing that is being told as a story. So I don't know when it makes sense now, but perspective, it's a factual thing that's being told as a story. Right? So perspective is very important. And a lot of times, if you visit back historical data, historical events, those perspectives are the same as today's perspective. It's a different number. That's it. But the perspective is the same, very similar. A bit, we have a lot of differences that's going on in the market today, but yet the fundamentals are very similar. It's all based on supply and demand. There's nothing more and nothing less than that. I don't know if that makes sense.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I hear you saying that the issue during the shift is that people are going to be more anxious, more they're going to be freaking out a bit. So so in that sense, you want to kind of like coach the seller or whatever through that emotion and help them to have a positive outlook.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah, and can I add something else?
Yeah.
Basically, when we take on a listing, we price it ahead of the market, no? And when we price it at that level, a lot of people come back. We are positioned in such a way that we attract a lot of attention. Sometimes they ask me, one of the questions they ask me is, why is it priced so low? And because they are frightened something has happened or not.
Right.
When I address that question, fine, they understand. We explain the motivations of the seller. And once they get that, they understand why it is priced at that level. And number two, once they realize that this seller is serious about selling, they test us. They test us by putting a very low offer. And because we have an exclusive, they cannot go to anyone else. And we know that our price is one of the best, and we have already priced it ahead of the market. There's no way they can go to another. A few times they even come to us with 20 to 30% lower than what we were asking.
Wow.
And we were the lowest. That's ridiculous. So we held on, and guess what? They finally had to come back to us, and we got it right. We got the offers. Yeah.
Nice.
Right.
Yeah. So what I'm trying to say, I know this is something, the exclusive really helps in this pricing strategy because I got control.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know, on that note, do you want to share with us, Ganesh, how when you're working with a seller, how do you determine the asking price? Like, how do you come up with the price? What is the right price? How do you price ahead of the market? I would love to hear from you. You can show us how you do that.
Okay, basically, I will normally, after inspection, I will come back a few days later and I will give them a what do you call
Like presentation.
pricing and marketing proposal. So I'm going to do part of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'd love to see this.
Yeah, I will be focusing only on the pricing strategy. Yeah. All right. Bear with me. I'm not so good. Yeah. Where is my? Here, I believe. Fine. Okay, I'm looking for my thing. It's this way.
You click on the more dots, and then you'll get to the share screen.
Oh yeah, correct. Okay, she knows better than me.
It happened to me also.
All right, I'm going to go through. Okay, basically, when we are going to be proposing a price to the owner, we are going to be taking data from 3 different sectors.
Okay.
The current asking prices, I will be getting it from all the property portals, namely the iProperty, Property Guru, and the Edge Property. Then the past transactions, I will pull it up from Data Labs. And the third one, which is very important to us because it's the bankers, and we will get the bankers' indicative valuation. Using this data, we will recommend a price. So here we go. All this data is derived from all these 3 different portals, and we will take those properties which are in that location. So we are given a summary of all the properties which we have got from that. By the way, this is a commercial office space for sale in UOA Bangsa.
Okay.
And the size of it was 1,250. So we've taken all the prices from within this range, from Property Guru, iProperty, and the Edge Property. Then we go individually to all the different properties. I will have links if they want to see the finishing and all that. So, and the price per square foot and the size of the property, so that we are going to be comparing apple with apple, so that he knows the property which we are going to be comparing, the competitor's price is the same as his. So all the properties within that location is shown. Then I will show data labs. The ones which are highlighted are those which are relevant. This data is obtained over past 3 years. Very important. The property we are going to be selling is 1,250. The built up here are similar, 1,097, 1,248, and then price per square foot is on the right hand side. So we know the competitors from that building itself, from the past. That means we know the past transaction from that building. So all this is taken into account, and then not only are we going to take the competitors from that building, we are also going to be taking competitors from the surrounding areas. So even for landed properties, I take the surrounding areas, because buyers not only look within that location, and they will look for something comparable within the surrounding areas. So they have choices. So all the prices are taken into account from the surrounding buildings. It clearly stated the size of the office buildings we are going to be comparing and the price per square foot. And then we give them basically the big picture of who their competitors are in their locality. This will be their property, and all these surrounding buildings will be their competitors. Yeah. And then we give them a summary. This comparative market analysis of past transactions is derived from 6 commercial buildings within that vicinity. The data which I'll be going through, the one which is relevant will be the median price. That is something which they have to look into, no?
Yeah.
All the different median prices of this area. Data labs, this is superb from data labs. This is very, very important, because we are not only looking at the competitors within that building, but we are looking at all the different prices from the different buildings.
Wow.
And then very important, the bank indicative valuations. We check this with 3 different banks. Yeah. And finally, using finally, of course, we are there's a 4th source. Actually, I want to explain. All this is data, it's cold, and maybe even past transaction. What we do is actually I call up agents who are working on properties in that location, and I 50% of them will share their experiences of the price of their challenges which they face within that locality. And I use that, including all this data, and then we will recommend a price. And this price is priced ahead of the market.
Wow. Okay. Thank you so much for this. Okay, before we even start discussing about this, can everyone in the chat, if you were the seller and you have received this report, you know, you had this presentation, would you be impressed? Would you feel that this person knows what they're talking about? Can you just type a 1 if you thought that was a pretty impressive report? I thought it was quite, I'll definitely hire you. I'll definitely give you my business. There you go. Very impressive.
I might give you a discount.
Okay. I want to buy this building. I have something to do after this now. Okay, that's awesome. Wow. Okay. I don't even know where to start. John, do you have any thoughts about this? You want to just like ask?
So my follow-up question to all the people that is watching today on Facebook and on Zoom: how many agents do you know of that does analysis and have conversations like that with owners,
Mm.
right? How many of them, how many percent that you think of agents in the market does this today? And at that, but the thing is this to me, right? This is the expected from an agent. But most agents don't live up to the expectations, right? Because most agents are interested to put a sign, put an advertisement, and hope someone call me to sell, to buy. And somehow, someway, the buyer will come and buy from me, and then I have a viewing and we sold the property, right? That's where most agents are right now today. That's the majority of the market. I don't know whether Ganesh will agree with me, but that's the majority of the market today. And what Ganesh has been doing is, after 30 over years in the business, and by the way, he's very young. He started at the age of 15. So it's only 45 this year. It's a little bit older than me, right? But he is changing. Like, he wasn't like that before last time as well. He's changing and changing and changing, right? Because there's an expectation in the market to be educated, right? And you have to educate with value. If you want to present value to people, you first must have value. And I think the way he did it, to me, it's not a complex thing. It sounds complex, but actually it's really not complex. It's really getting data, putting on a piece of paper or on a presentation sheet, and whatever data we are getting on data labs is already way sufficient for you to see past transaction record, and just take some time to go and look at all the portals and then gather the database, the data of the listings, and you're there. That is what will win the market for you as an agent today. And I think it's not complex and not many people are doing it. That's the opportunity.
Wow.
I don't know what question, I don't know whether does Ganesh have this all the time. I don't know whether does the seller or the buyer, I'm sure you do something similar to the buyers as well. The sellers, right, or buyers, when they see you and you present to them, right, how many of them tell you nobody ever done it before for me? Did any buyer or seller have ever told you there's no other agent that has presented it this way to me before?
And John, that's the advantage we have when we do this presentation. Actually, when we do, that's only part of the presentation. Huh? I've got Mariah knows I've got a lot more to say about when I'm doing the listing presentation. When they see us do this, there's absolute silence. A lot of times they're absolutely silent. They have never seen this being done. And you know what? They never question me about the 3%. They do not question. 90% of the time, they never question me on the 3%. And then automatically, even the exclusivity, except for certain terms to be clarified, that is also never questioned, because they know,
right,
they are in safe hands, if I may say so. Right?
They can see the value, right? They can
see the value.
Yeah.
And also they're probably really keen to sell, right? You find the right owners to work for. Not every owner's like that, but they are very keen to sell. That's why you qualify them by asking those questions. Why you need to sell, how soon must you sell, that kind of thing, right?
And it's also how you communicate that is very important, because some of them do not like to tell openly that they are actually cash strapped, you know. So you got to be careful how you find out their motivation, and slowly, as you build up a relationship, they open up.
Right.
Sometimes they even tell me, go lower. They actually tell me. I said, hold on. Let me get this right, you know. And yeah, that's because of the relationship. And I don't do this alone. I do it with a team. Yeah.
Right.
I can't do it alone.
I have some questions for you, but I want to ask also everyone who's listening, if you have any questions, please put your questions in the chat as we continue on. You know, I wanted to ask you, earlier you mentioned about, when you want to price ahead of the market, and then sometimes people might complain like, why is the price so low? And I was wondering how do you communicate that? I mean, now that I saw your presentation, I think that's probably the main thing. But
I'm not boasting. There are times when I'm going through the data, there's absolute silence, because actually they have also done their own work, you know. But this is the first time an agent is coming and showing them in such an organized way how I have come to this conclusion. And actually, I have confirmed to them that this is the price. This is the only way to move forward. I've done this once with a couple who had 4 agents once before. And when they called the office and the call was passed to me, and I insisted on that I meet up with them, and I want to show them my marketing proposal. They were surprised. Why? I'm giving you the photos, I'm giving you the details. You're the PJ expert. Why do you need to come and see me? I said, no, I don't work that way. It's very important I meet up with you.
Yeah. And the simple thing, that just to piggyback on what Ganesh is saying, the simple thing in meeting owners, right? Most agents don't like to do that.
Yep.
They don't put enough effort and time to go and meet owners, to find motivated owners, because you cannot find motivated owners without meeting them. It just doesn't work.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to tell you on the phone, I need to sell because I need cash. It's not going to happen, right?
I see.
Yeah, and then when they ask me, these are questions, they ask me, what price can I sell? I said, no, I'm not going to be giving you the price. And what is your fees? No, I'd never talk about the fees over the phone. No.
Okay.
They need to see the value I'm going to bring into that relationship before I disclose any of this. That's very important. Yeah.
Okay, that fits in. There's a question from the Facebook Live side. It says, do you ask for exclusive like only after you give the presentation?
Yes, I know. It's some other agents thinking I might be disclosing all my secrets. I don't live in fear. I do not live in fear.
Wow, I love this.
And I want to just add on to that. Most agents are very afraid of telling a lot of things to the owners. Now, trust is being built when you give trust first, not when you ask for trust first. You build by first trusting people so that people will learn to trust you. Right. So that's why I encourage everyone, be transparent about as much as you can with owners, because you want to work with them. Think of them as a partner together. You are partnering them to make this business happen. Right.
Yeah.
So Ganesh, I'm just so curious now. Does it ever happen that you go through this whole thing and you ask for the exclusive, and then in the end it doesn't work out?
There have been situations where they have told me that they will think about it, and they don't come back to me. There was one case, they came back to us 2 months later.
Interesting.
Because they were trying to use
another way.
Cheaper agents, the agents were just charging them 2%,
right?
No exclusive, and they saw that they didn't go anywhere. Then 2 months later, they come back to it. I do not force them. I do not hard sell my services. Stop. Sorry.
Yeah, no, that's cool. I mean, I just feel so excited to hear what you're saying, and that you don't live in fear. You just share openly, but you're very clear about what you have to offer. And you know that it's worth the 3%. And so that's why people don't really question you about it.
Never. Most of them never question me. Even the exclusive part, when they see the way we present ourselves, they think 3% is the least.
Right.
Sometimes they ask, is there anything else we have to pay you? They thought because of the, the video, the photos, the way they take the efforts we go into to make clear the pattern, make sure all the photos are done properly. They think 3% is.
There's another question here from Joanne. It says, is it correct to say that your business model is focused on exclusivity and 2% rather than gaining market share?
No, yes, very, very good. That's a good question. Yes, I admit that.
Okay, interesting.
And you can still do a very successful business by doing that.
Yeah.
Because it's really up to you how you want to do it. And you can still do this and have market share as well if you want to. It's just that you can compete on price, you can compete on commission structure if you want to, but you can still do both ways. But the idea behind today's conversation is, if all of us in our markets are pricing it correctly, that's like how Ganesh is doing it, all of us will have a very successful business, because that's the main problem that needs to be solved right now in the market. Because we have, all of us agree that the market is overpriced, or most properties are overpriced. If we corrected the price, we have a lot of business to do right now.
Right.
And to actually regarding market share, we have gone into an area in Taman Desa that I am quite familiar with that area, but I'm not an expert. But recently, because we have got some listings there, I and a colleague of mine, we went into it. And because our properties were priced correct, I mean, we have closed quite a number down there. And suddenly we are getting attention. And now we have actually, without intentionally going to get more listings, we are getting more listings down there, and they're listening to us now. And we are not the experts in Taman Desa.
Right, because you are valid, you're able to transact it very well.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
validity comes. Like,
Yeah.
you don't tell people I'm the best agent in town. You tell them how many I've transacted here this month.
That's right. Yeah.
Very
That's
cool.
how you should behave as an agent right now. It's about valid. It's about being valid.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So, what we do, we try and do our best, and the recognition will come eventually, and
Mhm.
that's when people will start
Nice.
following them.
Okay. Earlier I heard Ganesh, you mentioned like you want to get the price right from the beginning, like from at the start, right? So this reminds me. So we're talking about this shift book, right? And there's this phrase they talk about, the window of opportunity. John, do you know about this window of opportunity? I wonder if you could explain to everyone what that's about. What does that mean?
I think you have a time now to really think about the market is now shifting. In a shifting market, there's a moment where there is a lot of things that is lost in translation, right? And you hear terminology like what Ganesh is saying about ahead of the market, behind the market.
Yeah.
Right. You hear a lot about those things, right? And I want to quickly share a few charts here, if I may. Right. You're seeing my chart.
Yep.
Right. So the tale of two markets is, are you in the market or out of the market? They are in this condition, in this current market, right? There are a lot of pricing when the market is not so bad, right? This is where the market is, right? But when the market is in a challenging market like today, right? This is the reality right now, right? A lot of people in the buyer's market, this is the buyer's market, the tale of two markets, the seller's market, right? And the buyer's market. This market here right now is what I believe we are entering into right now. Now, it may varies from market to market, the intensity. For example, if you are in a, sorry, you need to do something?
Can I pause you for a second? Can you
Sure.
just explain what this graph is, like the X and Y axis, for people who have not seen it
So
before?
this is where it's a great market and it's a poor market. The condition, great market. This is the price below market price, above market price, right? So this is the sweet spot. Normally, this area is the sweet spot when it's a buyer's market. When it's a seller's market, of course, price goes up, right? There are more properties that people are able to buy. There are more people that's able to, more affordability there. There are more buyers ready to buy, right? So this is where the market has more potential, or probably the listing that you're putting on the market has more interest, will have more interest because we are in a seller's market, right? But the idea is that this is the reality right now, right? Or where we are. I'm sorry, I should share this one, not this one. This is not so confusing. I think I will talk about this from this angle. Most businesses today, or most real estate agents, operate around here. And they ask this question, oh, market is very slow. How do you determine my market is very slow? I have less inquiries, I got less appointments and viewings. Because majority of them are operating around here. All of you agree just now, 90% of you, 91% of you agree that everything is overpriced. So when it's overpriced, everything is here. Everyone is here, right? And the way is that if you want to price things ahead of the market, you need to understand how to price the property and bring the property over here. When you are in the market here, you will be very busy. Trust me, you will be very busy. You'll be having a lot of inquiries. People will be calling you because you are priced ahead of the market. You are in the market, right? Yeah, here you are out of the market, right? The buyer's market is this way. So this is where I think agents need to think about that we are in this moment now. Again, as I say, every market is different from every market. But I believe generally we are all in this current market this way right now. Now, if you go to Desa Park City, it may be a different story over there because supply is very low, demand is very high, right? It may be you go to Taman Desa, Damas, is a very different story as well, right? But I believe shift happens in all markets. shift happens in all markets. I believe Desa Pasiti did have some correction, and them being in the market, the gap might be lower, right? Versus Taman Desa, for example, the gap might be higher. So it depends on the market that you are in. But the concept behind this is, where is your business operating right now? Is majority of listings here or here? Because that will determine how successful you become.
Right.
Right.
Very nice.
And when we talk about being ahead of the market, it is when you're pricing it below the market value, because you know when the market is correcting, right? Market value is not sufficient to bring people into interest, to be interested. Everybody, how many of you have buyers right now looking for good buys? Like how many % of your buyers now are looking for good deals right now if they want to buy? How many?
I'm sure
1,
everyone
2,
has.
does everyone here today have buyers looking for good buy?
Yes.
Yeah, I believe all of us would have. Right? All of us would have. Why? Because we are in a buyer's market, right? So if you put market value, right, that is pricing at the market, you have very little interest, but we are ahead of the market. But you're pricing it where it is attractive to attract people to come and see you. That's when you will see people coming to you, right? So being ahead of the market is important. Most people don't even, though I believe most people are not even at the market. Most people are still behind the market right now. That's our challenge here, but that's also the opportunity. Because if you just bring some listing ahead of the market, you will win more appointments.
Yep.
You'll win more appointments, right? You'll win more eyeballs, you will win more buyers, right? So the goal is how do you want to set your business up, right? And when you tell this to the owner, right, this is how I will communicate it this way. I use charts like this to communicate that this is where we are, and I will put numbers in place. There are 25 units at the market. There are 100 units behind the market. There's nothing ahead of the market right now. What do you want to do, Mr. Owner? If you want to sell in the next 30, 60, 90 days, where would you want to be at? Because is selling the property right now to get your cash down is more important, or additional 20,000 more is more important? Which is your priority right now? Get your priorities right. So be ahead of the market. When you do it that way, now people always say, oh, you're trying to press my price. I'm not trying to press your price. I'm trying to put you ahead of the market. The language and the conversation is different. I'm trying to assure you that you have the optimized price that you can sell at the most optimum time, because everybody focus on price, nobody focus on time. Because time is also of value, price is also of value, right? Can we recalibrate your price? Can we readjust your price? Can we realign your price to the market expectation? When you speak like that, right, you are speaking from a point of trying to help that person align his goals and his purpose of doing this transaction, right? I don't know whether if I explain myself well.
Yeah. And I love Ganesh's word earlier, right? He empowers them with the correct price, to give them.
Correct.
Wow. Ganesh, do you want to add anything to everything that John was just sharing about this different markets and how to not chase the market and get it right from the start and all that?
No,
What are your thoughts on
John
that?
has done a very good job of explaining that. But basically, to add to it, I think when they talk about a market, what a tale of two markets.
Yeah.
Basically, the one market is it's got a good pricing, good condition, and it's ready to be sold. And the other market, it's basically bad pricing, bad condition, and it's very difficult to be sold. For me, that's why when we put out into the market, I take into account the condition of the property. It's very important.
Right.
Recently, when we took on a listing, this was a Singaporean owner. We told them that we need to stage it in the sense that you need to do the repairs, painting, and all that. And she accepted it. And when I told her the price, showed her all the other asking prices, which it was the lowest, and she agreed to making those costs, incurring those costs, which was amounted to about $4,000, so that when people come, the first impression is important. So that's what I'm trying to say. The condition of the property also has to be done properly.
Yeah.
And staging part. Yeah.
Yeah, like on that graph, right? So as the condition of the property increases, you can increase the price, right?
Yes,
It will still
yeah,
be in the market,
yeah.
right?
And
So
yet we priced it ahead of the market. Very important, because I explained to her the market is sliding down. You
mhm,
need to price it ahead. Even though some of the valuations were also higher, but
right,
she realized the market was sliding and we
right.
need to price it. And
So mhm,
she
yeah,
came to us actually saying, if actually when we started the relationship, she said, if the price is not right, I want to rent it. Of course, I didn't fight her on that. I said, fine. We gave her all the data on the selling price and the
right.
rental. And
Mhm,
then when we explained to them why I am recommending the price, she understood and she realized there are challenges in renting out, because when you are managing the property, and she asked us whether we could manage it. I said our license doesn't allow it. So
I
after that,
see.
the conversation ended on that.
Yeah. So what happens if you, let's say, you cannot convince the seller and maybe you don't price it ahead of the market. You price it maybe around the market and you
Yeah.
don't get it right from the start. What happens to that property if
Okay,
it's
very
priced
good
there?
question.
What
Yes.
happens?
Normally, if that's why I always insist on meeting up with the owners. If they ask what they're asking for, if they are asking for something slightly above market,
Yeah.
they have to agree, because in my listing presentation, I explain to them how I'm going to be accountable. I tell them every month we are going to have a meeting. I'm going to give you a marketing report explaining to you all my marketing activities, including the response. And then every month we will have a price review. I will size up whether they're going to be reasonable enough to understand, not to review the price.
Right.
And if I think they are reasonable people, I will take it on, provided the price is not too right. But if the price is not right, I will not take on a listing. I will never take on a listing, because when it comes to, in terms of time, cost, and most importantly, my reputation, I don't want to lose that. That's very important to me. So yes, if the price is not right, I will not take on a listing, unless I believe that they will be reasonable enough for them. Because every month I will insist, whether they are by Zoom or physical meeting, that we have we review the price based on the marketing, how the market has responded. And yeah, of course, there are other agents who feel that they want to get market share. It's okay. I mean, they want to get market share and want to brand themselves in that area. They will take on the listing. But because I got limited energy, I will focus on those who are, and there's enough listings for me to work on.
I see. Yeah, this was actually one of my questions, whether you're willing to take on an overpriced listing. So it's interesting to hear your perspective. Basically, you have a standard of how much time and energy you're going to give, and you will not lower that standard. So for you to take an overpriced listing and keep giving that effort month after month, it doesn't make sense.
Because it's not only the time and money are going to be spent. The reputation.
Your reputation.
I will lose. I will lose that reputation. I
see.
don't want to get into that. But I'm not saying I'm not going to take it. Of course, there have been cases where actually I've sized them up correctly. I know because of the relationship I'm going to be building up with them, and the marketing reports which I'm going to be giving to them every month, I'm being accountable. I know I can get them to accept reality. Then I will take it on.
Okay, so you think you're there, eventually they will get there once they start to trust you.
Yeah, especially if it's a highly priced property and in a good location. I make choices like that.
Wow. Yeah, John, what's your perspective on this idea of like I saw there's one slide about chasing the market. So like if you don't get it right at the beginning, what happens to that property? How does that?
So number one, you will be blamed for not helping me sell the property fast, because most owners want to sell fast, right?
Okay.
And they'll say the agent is not working, is the agent is not effective, is not efficient, cannot get it done. Right.
Right.
So that's one thing. Number one, when you're chasing the market, this could happen. Number two, the price will keep dropping on the property.
Yep.
Because the whole market will realize that it cannot be sold. For some reason, it can't be sold. After 1 year in the market, it can't be sold. 2 years in the market, it can't be sold.
So the thinking about the property.
Correct. So what happens when you see that things cannot be sold? What is the ultimate, or what is the automatic thoughts that you have as a consumer in the market today?
Something's wrong with it.
Yes.
Something's
Wrong.
Correct.
Something is wrong, cannot be sold, doesn't make sense, overvalue, whatever it is, because everybody will think negative first, right? When it's over time. So putting the property too long on the market is not going to help you. I always tell owners that if you're not interested to sell fast in the next 60 to 90 days, why are you putting it on the market?
Yeah.
Why don't you let everything else sell first? So that when there's nothing else for sale, your price you will come to your price when the time comes, right? So don't put the property on the market first, unless the property is highly valued, meaning it's above value because of a very good reason, like it's totally renovated, brand new. It's like $1 million renovation, right? That's why I want 200,000 more, right? So that is the kind of property you want to showcase. But other than that, right? Tell the owners, if you're not keen to sell in the next 36 90 days, they're not urgent, right? Don't sell right now. Now, when you tell them like that, right? You'll be surprised the response. Some will say, okay. Some will say, actually, I need to sell.
They start to be honest.
Actually, I need to sell. Actually, I can't wait so long.
Can I share with you something where when a property which was a long time in the market, and the owner called me and asked me to take over the listing on an exclusive basis. I told him one of the conditions is I need you to take it out of the market because the stigma was on that market, on that property. And he agreed. We took it out from the market for 1 month. And I came in fresh with a new price, and I got the attention I wanted. That's one way of doing. Yeah.
And you can see a lot of properties right now. It's hanging out. They can't sell is because of what this Ganesh said, right? They didn't start correctly, and the whole market felt something is wrong with their property.
Yeah.
Can you just bring back that slide? Maybe I think it's like slide 21. I was looking at I wanted to refer to it. It shows like the going down.
Oh, okay. Hang on. Yeah.
I think it's cool to see the visual of how you start at this price and it doesn't sell, and you wait, and then this falling value time on the market. So the price keeps going down. Yeah, can you explain a little bit about this?
So I think when you put a price here, when the market is here, right? It's already here, but you are taking too long. And when other people start selling here, what will happen? The market will keep going down because there are lesser buyers in the market and there are more listings right now. That's the reality. We have more properties in the market. But what happens if you put your price somewhere around here?
From the beginning.
From the beginning, right? You'll be the first to go first, right? You'll be the first to go first, and you have a little bit more opportunity to get more value out of it because everyone else is still here. Right? So when everyone is here, if you adjust your price to be here first as an asking price, you will then have a chance of getting the property first.
Right.
In a falling market, speed is your friend. In a market correction, in a buyer's market, speed is your friend. The fastest you sell as an owner, the faster you get your money, you can solve your problem faster, whatever reason you're getting the money for.
Right.
Additional 30,000 won't help you. But getting the whole chunk of money comes in right now to solve whatever problems you have helps you faster, right? So understanding how to not chase the market and price it correctly upfront first.
Right. And from this graph, actually, you will end up selling it for more if you will end up being even lower if you start high and you just bring it down. You'll end up with an even lower price in the end of the day.
Now, one caveat here is this. Your competitor will say, no, lah, the agent is trying to tell you to sell too low, lah. It's too low, it's too low.
Okay.
Great. When an owner always come and talk to me like that, right? No, they say your price is too low. Great. This is my observation. Tell me what's their observation.
Okay.
Like, what has the agent told you based on what their observation is. What is their factual observation that they have to back up that they can sell at that price?
Right.
I'm interested to learn from them as well. Maybe I made a mistake. Mr. Owner, what's their observation?
Yeah.
And Mr. Owner, what's your observation after comparing both?
Right.
Because you have to, like what Ganesh, you have to hold your ground.
Yep.
If you know what you're talking about, if you know your stuff, right? You communicate this way. Like, great, this is just my observation. I can be wrong because I'm not perfect, right? But what's their observation?
So good. Keep everything on the facts, the data, like let's back something
Let the
up.
numbers do the heavy lifting. Let the numbers do the heavy lifting, right? Right.
That's awesome. There's a question here, maybe for Ganesh. How do we ask owners to reduce the price when the selling price is already SBA price, and when they bought it?
Oh, this is a very common question.
When they bought it, it was above market value.
Yeah.
Okay, so what do you do?
I tell them basically the market is something which you cannot control. They bought it during the high times, the market has shifted. And if you are trying to recover the cost, you cannot. I actually am brutal. I have the data to back me up. I do not hold back.
Right. And here's how I will address that issue.
Okay.
So, Mr. Owner, like, okay, let's look at how much money you are losing right now if you sell at this price right now. Let's look at how much money you're going to lose when you don't sell it after 2 years. Because losing more and losing less is a choice as well. You have an opportunity to lose less, or you're going to lose more right now.
Cut short your losses.
Yeah.
Cutting losses is gain, guys. Cutting losses is gain.
That's right.
Because if I'm doing this, I lost 100,000 versus I hold this for the next 10 years or 5 years or 3 years. I didn't recover anything. My interest costs, right? My opportunity cost of holding the property, and the losses that I have to pay anyway when I sell the property, right? What would that look like? Calculate that for them. It's all a calculation, guys. When you sit down and you don't do a calculation and you don't do a pro forma calculation on where the losses are and how much are they losing versus now and in 3 to 5 years, you cannot get them to see the reality. Because without this, right, the reality, I'm hopeful. Because you know what? 3 years ago, the agent told me the price is going to go up one. So I'm hopeful that whatever agent told me 3 years ago, that reality is going to come to pass. But you and I know today is very hard for the next 2 to 3 years, especially when I can't afford to hold on to this mortgage. I can't afford to do this anymore. I need to sell.
Yeah.
So that's the opportunity that you have right now to help them cut their losses. That's what I would do. I would write down, if you sell today, the loss, I will do a comparison. You sell in the next 2 3 years, your interest plus this is this, 3 4 years is this. If the price doesn't, just stay where it is right now. Right? Yeah. That's the reality. I don't know, Firman, that answer your question.
Yeah, that's a great. I think it will help. It will help to bring the clarity for the seller big time.
Right.
Yeah. Thank you, Anita, for sharing. Yeah. All right. So, for those, do you guys have any I don't know, any resources that you would recommend for people like trying to do what you do, Ganesh, or just to be able to come up, how to know what the right price is, how to speak to the sellers, all this kind of stuff that we're talking about today?
To me, I think, actually, to be frank with you, I got a lot of gems from the book, The Ship, something.
Oh, really?
Actually, that's an incredible book. I think I was practicing some of the things, but right now I'm very clear. It's made it very clear for me what I should be doing in the future and how I should be presenting myself to my clients. I think that book is fantastic.
Right. Yeah, actually, some of the charts we were showing today, they basically have the charts in the book.
Yeah.
I think I can imagine you could even show it to the client, show it to the seller, right? You could show them, this is what happens if you don't price your property low enough. It will just keep going down, things like that to help them have that thinking.
Yeah. Right. So, and I think at the end of the day, we have all this data, we have all this information. It's how you communicate and build relationship. It's very important. It's no point having all this data. I've seen some of the agents when they try to communicate this. It's just, I don't know whether it's because they have memorized the script and memorized all this, but it doesn't come from within them, and whether they believe in it. They just memorized it. And if you do not know how to communicate, and most importantly, I tell you, relationship building, it's very, very important. I spent sometimes 3 hours with them, only about 1 hour, 1 hour only for talking about the data and all this and the property price. The rest of the 2 hours is everything under the sun. That's very important, because they need to actually feel comfortable and trust you. I think I need to emphasize that.
Right.
Trust is big. Okay.
Yeah. And I agree, Ganesh, our business is a people business, right? We use data to enhance the relationship, to build trust, but you must come from a point of contribution. I'm trying to help you sell so that you can achieve your goal by selling it. And if you come from an idea of, I'm trying to sell to make more money first, then you may behave in a very different way, because whatever actions and words you say is determined by what you believe in. Right? So I would encourage everyone to come from contribution, especially in this challenging market today. We need to help more people. There's more people available for us to help. The market is big there for us right now. More people need to help. And we need to get them to come to a point that we can be that agent of helping them change their lives, right? We will think from that angle. And you will be very profitable by doing that, trust me. Because generally, most people don't like to think like that. And that's an opportunity for us.
Yeah, this is awesome. Yeah, we will stand out. There's a question here about getting a sample presentation for seller and buyers in KW. Yes, can we get where can they find these kind of sample presentations?
So Mariah, maybe we should run a masterclass on this, how to do a listing presentation, right?
Featuring.
And how many of you would join a masterclass if you're going to have a masterclass on how to do a listing presentation, and we'll prepare templates for you guys to use? How many of you will join?
Ooh, we got lots. Whoa. Guys, calm down. Oh my God.
It's okay, Mariah, just more work for you, that's all. But that's, I think there's such a need in the market today, right? Agents need this very much. And I think it is very counterculture in the industry, because majority of the industry is trying to how to convince the owner to sell. We are not convincing anyone to sell. We are trying to help them self-discover what's important for them, right? And we need to be able to present it that way. So maybe Mariah, we can come up with a masterclass on this.
Okay, I think we need to. There's quite a big list here already.
Right. And again, the company exists to serve all of you here. If there is a need, we will do what we can to serve everyone, because that's our goal, right? To help you become the agent of choice in your market.
Wow. In the meantime, I found a couple of, I'm just going to post this here, is a couple of little articles that are in the KW stuff, but this is just everyone can access. The first one is Psychology of Pricing Property. It's more about the psychology of how the buyers, when they look at the numbers, it's quite interesting. Just a short article. And the second one, the beginning of it will not be so relevant in Malaysia, but the second half has some common objections and then how to handle the objections from the sellers. So you can just take a look at those two articles, and someone can post on Facebook. That would be great. Yeah. Okay. As we need to sort of wrap up soon this session. We got lots of invitations for Ganesh over here. People want to buy him banana leaf rice. Okay. Okay, can we have the announcements? And then when we come back from announcements, maybe we can have some final words from Ganesh and from John. Would that be all right? Okay, cool. All right, let's go for our announcements. We have exciting announcements, guys. Okay. Yes, back to KW Asia Summit. All right, 26th October. You gotta come for this. This is the biggest event of the year. There's gonna be 1,500 agents. That's what we're aiming for. So the ticket price is $388, but you have a free promo code. So it's a really valuable time. We have people coming from the US to speak. We have literally people from other agencies also coming to share in the breakout sessions. This is not just a KW event. This is for the whole industry. Okay, we want everyone to come and network. There's going to be people from all the different countries in the region as well, including Japan, Vietnam, Thailand, Cambodia, Mongolia, Philippines. Is a very big event. You want to be there. Okay. Can I see, we have a video for you, a new video. Let's watch this video together. Oh, the sound is there's no sound, guys. All right, let's try again.
Hang on, sorry.
Okay. Awesome. Yes, will you be one of them? Okay, let's have the next slide. Okay, guys, I hope you're all already signed up, but here is some major motivation for you to invite friends. We want guests to come. We want definitely way more than just our KW people to come, right? We want all of Malaysia, all the agents in Malaysia to show up here, okay? So I want to just explain to you this slide. So if you invite three, as a KW agent, if you invite 3 or more agents and they actually come, they show up, they arrive there and go for the sessions, you will get a free special edition KW Asia Summit. It's a black one. Then the normal one that people are buying is like a blue color, but this is black, okay? All right, if you invite 5 or more agents, and they show up, you will get the t-shirt, and you will also get 1 free KW 360 plus scan worth 110 ringgit. All right, and if you can invite 10 agents and they all show up, 10 of your friends out there, you get the t-shirt, the KW 360 plus scan, and you will get 1 month free of KW Activate subscription worth 199. So I want to know who's already been inviting friends. If you've already invited someone, can you type a 1 in the chat? Yes. Awesome, we got somebody here. Okay, I think you guys can go out there and maybe every day you can share these videos. The videos are there for you to share. Just invite people, tell them this is going to be the biggest event of the year. Invite all your friends to come. I'm sure you all know other agents. Yeah, and let's make this the most awesome event ever. Okay, can we do that together? Awesome. Okay, let's have the next slide. All right, of course, we have our KW value stories every week. So please come and share them on Facebook. And yeah, this will also help you to get up more agents interested, to come and join. And I think you can use the Asia Summit as also a value story. We're putting on a big valuable event. All right, next one. Client touch points. So this is for you to make connection with your clients. So this one we have free market report. So just go to the website and you can download them, send them on WhatsApp. You can send them via KW Activate, and yeah, just build that relationship with your clients so that they can trust you and know that you are the expert in your area. Awesome. All right, let's come back to our conversation. Do we have any last words from you, Ganesh, and from you, John? Maybe Ganesh, what do you want to share?
I think for me, what I like to say is that do not be overcome by this fear of rejection. This is I think most agents, they soften the blow when they go for a listing presentation, and so that they can get the listing. I think in the long run, they burn themselves out by doing that. Just tell the truth, but very importantly, how you present it, how the data you get, 90%, 80 to 90% of the time, most of the time, when I show them this, they are not surprised. You know why? Because most people have already done some study of what they are doing. It's just that most agents are scared to tell them that this is the reality, and they want to avoid so-called confrontations. To me, I think telling them the truth is the best. And recent listing, especially in the last few months, my team was surprised what the price which I was recommending, which was not way below market price, below bank valuations, and owners accepted it because the way we presented it and the data to support it. Do not be afraid.
Do not be afraid. Tell the truth. Don't soften the blow.
Yep.
But have the data to show.
Yep. Yes, you must have the facts.
Right.
No point going there and saying just, oh, the market is bad lah. You cannot sell at this price. When you get emotional, that's the end of the story.
Nice. Love it. Thank you so much, Ganesh. How about you, John? Any final?
I think today I was very inspired by Ganesh. When I say inspired, I truly mean it, Ganesh. No jokes today. Normally jokes, but today is a bit of a fact, right? Because I've seen Ganesh work in the past 6 years in the company, and he has changed and progressed so much more. When I saw him presenting the slides today, right, I was like, Ganesh, you got slides. Ganesh, you got this presentation tool going on, right? Whether he is the one doing it or his team is doing it, doesn't really matter. But what matters is he has the intention to improve and want to impact the market. How he does it and how he arranged everything around him to do it, that's on him, but he made it work.
Right.
Right? So my encouragement for all of you is grow and become like Ganesh, because he's a living example of how he has evolved through time, and he's not stayed stagnant where he is. There are a lot of people in this industry who are in here for many, many years. They did not change. They just stay where they are. And to me, today, Ganesh is a living example. It's not about age. It's not about background. It is not about skills or understanding. It's all about intention.
Yeah.
And it's all about wanting to do better. And I would encourage all of you to do what he's doing and to think like how he's thinking. You should be fine. If you don't listen to any of us, just look at how he's doing his business and changing his business and being very systematically organized, even though he may argue he's not the most organized person, but yet it's organized. The presentation was very nicely done. Is it very artistically done very well? Is it done in a way that is like, wow, it's so nice and all that, right? It's not important. What's important, the intention to want to communicate. Right? So never be in a position where you think you are limited by where you are and you can't change. That is a lie. And Ganesh today is a living testimony. I encourage you all to look to him as an example of how he has evolved. After 30 years in the business, he is still changing and evolving. That's the motivation I see today. That's the inspiration I hope all of you are seeing it today.
Gosh. I'm having an aha right now. My gosh, my goodness. I'm just realized, because Ganesh always tells me how he's like, he doesn't know how to follow all this KW stuff. It's like in all the tech and everything, but he's leveraged on what he's so good at. He's so relational, right?
Yeah.
And he's got this team with him, and you made it all happen. And like it's amazing. You figured it out.
I leverage.
Yeah, you did.
Leverage.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you so much to both of you. Thank you everyone on the call for all your encouragement, and we will look into having this master class for listing presentation. This is exciting, and I hope to see you all, inviting everyone for Asia Summit. All right, so see you not next week. Next week is a holiday, but see you in 2 weeks. All right, okay, bye.
Bye.